As a candidate for president, Donald Trump unveiled his America First energy plan. And as you can guess, the so-called mainstream media, and wait for this, either yawned or attacked it. But his goal was this: to transform these United States into a global energy powerhouse again. And today at this conference, we will measure the progress of this transformation and outline the next steps to once again make America the world's energy powerhouse.
There's no industry like the energy industry in this country. In fact, I have challenged people time and time again to show me an industry that has built the middle class better and more secure than the energy industry, and no one has been able to challenge that.
Energy is literally the key building block of civilization. From lighting up your home, to enabling you to drive your cars, to enabling this very conference to operate, energy is literally the basis of anything and everything that we do.
So President Trump is the exact type of leader we need now to restore American greatness in the energy sector. And that's basically why we're all here today. Because under President Trump and under Secretary Zinke, there's no doubt about it. I don't even have to say it anymore. But the war on American energy is completely over.
So simply, what are those collective energy and policy goals? And they fall into three key tenets. Number one, removing barriers to energy development and trade. Number two, promoting U.S. energy exports. This includes resources, this includes technologies, and it includes services. And number three, ensuring economic and energy security for the U.S. and our allies and partners.
President Trump understands that American economic dominance cannot be achieved without responsible use of natural gas, oil, coal, and nuclear resources. He's put good people at the helm of this effort, specifically Scott Pruitt, my friend from Oklahoma, who is working to right-size the EPA after it expanded its authority, and Rick Perry, former governor of Texas, who understands the abundance and importance of our domestic energy resources.
This industry is just a great, great industry, whether it's coal, natural gas, oil. No one puts money in the pockets of the middle class and jobs in those families like the energy industry.
Earlier this year, I was at a point where I realized that to help my friends and family and neighbors, I had to be somewhere else other than the mine. Because what we had was coal plant after coal plant after coal plant shutting down. And so it became apparent earlier this year that our number one job was to preserve the coal fleet.
So, coal is not dirty. Coal is green. And I say that because coal is electricity. And electricity at the point of use is the cleanest, most efficient form of energy. State-of-the-art clean coal power plants today have near zero criteria emission pollutants: SOx, NOx, 90% mercury. Coal is green, it is not dirty because of electrification. CO2 is a benign gas required for life on Earth and is not dirty.
EPA says that 1 out of 4 deaths in America is caused by particulate matter in blue sky air. That's 570,000 deaths a year. Well, the smoking, the anti-tobacco groups say, well, smoking kills 440,000 people. Well, how is this possible? Okay, how is this possible? It's not possible, and it's because the 570,000 deaths annually is just totally made up.
I believe that disabusing the population of the idea that there are any negatives to carbon dioxide. Other things is that more people die prematurely from cold than from heat. It's somewhere between 5 and 15 times more premature death. So there's nothing bad about warming, even if carbon dioxide caused it, but it doesn't. Again, I want to go back every time.
Someone said actually that the Greens love any energy source except ones that actually work.
President Trump also will not let faulty international agreements like the Paris Climate Agreement constrict the American energy economy. The President recognized that the Paris Agreement was a bad deal for the American people and unburdened our economy by removing the United States from it. Even if fully implemented, the Paris Agreement would have had no significant impact on the environment.
So what is the goal of the Trump deregulatory policies? If you can't read the caption, it's "We'll always have Pittsburgh." Well, with President Obama's policies, we weren't going to have Pittsburgh. Remember, Detroit in 1960 was one of the wealthiest cities in the world. Now large parts of it are farmland. Chicago is about 20 years away from heading down to where Detroit is now. So we won't always have Pittsburgh if we commit to policies that are based on the Paris agenda, the Paris Climate Treaty. President Trump actually wants Pittsburgh to remain Pittsburgh.
Again, I have more that I could cover here, but I'd like to quote Secretary Perry when he said, "The United States will continue to be a leader in energy technology, development, and delivery. We will serve as an example to the rest of the world on how to achieve economic, energy, as well as environmental goals simultaneously."
You know, the attitude before we arrived said that you can't be about growth and jobs and also being a good steward of the environment. That's inaccurate. That's a false narrative. We've reduced those pollutants we regulate under the Clean Air Act by over 65% since 1980, and we've grown our GDP. So this country's always been about jobs and growth and environmental stewardship. And so we're changing the attitude, we're engaging in regulatory reform, and we're making sure that we get accountability across the country with respect to how we do business at this agency.
But first things first, it's important for everybody to know that American first energy policy means prioritizing our country's interest. And that means we are removing the unnecessary and burdensome regulations, punitive regulations, that have made energy less competitive on the world stage. That is exactly what we have been doing. We do it every day. We're focused on it, and it is the tangible effect of having a president who believes in free markets, he believes in limited government, and probably most importantly, he believes in them because he knows those are the elements for American greatness.
In his America First energy plan, Donald Trump articulated a vision of America that was made safer and more prosperous thanks to the promotion of fossil fuels. This conference looked at that plan, brought together experts from around the country, economists and scientists and lawyers and others, to see if what he said in that plan was true. If in fact we could become energy dominant. If in fact we could do that while still protecting the environment and protecting public health and all the other things that we're trying to achieve. I think it's safe to say this conference concludes that every point in the America First energy plan is accurate and correct and true. The data support what the president set out to do.